Hi everyone, it's Nichol Spohr for Simon Says Stamp, and today we are going to be showcasing the Beautiful Moments stamp set from Memory Box for STAMPtember 2022 here at Simon Says Stamp. I am going to start by stamping the Beautiful Moments images on some Nina Smooth White cardstock using Hero Arts Intensified Black ink, and then we're going to color in our images with Copic markers. And I decided to go with kind of a fall-ish theme, floral arrangement, I guess, if you will, today, where I tried to use some more of those muted fall tones rather than something bright or something Christmassy. I think you definitely could turn these florals into either one of those things, but I was really inspired to try to think outside the box maybe and do something a little bit more fallish themed. None of the sentiments in the stamp set really scream like Christmas or anything like that. Greetings in the set are find gratitude in every moment. There are countless beautiful reasons to be happy. Sending the very best wishes from all of us, and I feel so lucky to know you. So really fantastic generic sentiments. The size of these images are fantastic. They are going to be a focal point on your card design. So I am going to continue to color in my images. I am using a lot of yellow-green markers. These are kind of my go-to for that muted fall green, I guess, if you will. And then obviously the little berries here, I chose to go orange. I actually have some fall picks that have kind of this color of orange on them, and that was what inspired me to color them this way. I thought that would be really fun. And then I definitely want to mix in like some yellow leaves and brown leaves and red leaves to help really reinforce that fall feeling. The backgrounds for my cards today are going to be aqua. I've really been loving, and I've seen it everywhere out in the stores and things, where it seems like a lot of the home deck has aqua mixed in with the fall colors of orange and yellow and all of that. And so that is what inspired my design and color choices today. I'm using yellow-red colors for my leaves. I also used some yellow-red and also a E marker for the berries. So the berries were YR27, 24, and E08. The yellow leaves are YR31, 23, and 24. And the green leaves are YG91, 95, and 97. I have listed these down in the description box here underneath the video on YouTube for easy reference. So if you want to see exactly what colors I used for any given part of the coloring, you can check that out. I'm using R56 and 59, I believe, for the red, which is a really great very muted red color. It's not the bright Christmassy red, and I like it as well. And then we're just going to continue to color in. I wasn't exactly sure what color I wanted to do all of these, but I decided because there's some nice little individual leaf images, I am going to tuck some extra yellows and things and maybe some more orange berries into this design. So I decided to pair my images with the Domed Arches stencils from Simon Says Stamp. And I picked them because I wanted to kind of create this window effect where you have a fall swag maybe over the window or framing up the window. Something to that effect. And that was really what inspired my color and design choices. And then I did even go back to the yellow leaves and I added a little extra YR27 to kind of give a little more veining to those particular leaves, and then blended it out with YR24. We're gonna do kind of the same thing. For the berries, I went around the perimeter of the berries with YR27 blended the whole thing out with YR24, and then took a little E08 to add some extra shading. And again, the size of these images is fantastic. Very color friendly, if you will, very easy to color, no tiny nooks and crevices, really, just so beautiful. I could see using this on so many different kinds of cards. Now the next large floral swag we're going to color, I could see this one being more of a poinsettia for Christmas. I would probably pair it with some Christmas sentiments, maybe some new sentiments from Simon Says Stamp or something, and you could really turn almost all of this into more of a Christmas type of card. But I really love that the sentiments aren't season specific, and it allows you to kind of create something for lots of different seasons. And then I like the little touches of red, even that dark kind of mulberry red. Little pops of red on a card always just kind of give something for your eye to be drawn to, and I really like this. These are my favorite fall themed color combos. So I did a little yellow for this first group of leaves, the little individual leaves, because that's going to go with the swag I just colored. And then I did decide to take a white pen and add some highlights to almost all of the images. So each leaf, the berries, I really like the little white highlight on the berries. And I think it just kind of gives it a nice look. And you'll see when we get to the background, it kind of ties it in nicely, because when you use the coordinating dies to die cut your images, they're going to have that white outline all the way around. And so I just like a little white highlight. Makes it so that you have something nice to look at, I guess. Once I have my little highlights, we're going to go ahead and finish coloring the rest of the images. And it's going to be a lot of repetition of what you have seen. I will speed up the video just a little bit to save some time. No new color combinations except for the other little individual groups of leaves. I am going to use some earth tone colors for that, and I did do a yellow flower as my focal point on this second swag. Don't we all wish we could color this fast in real life? You'll notice that I tried not to blend out either the leaves or the flower too much. I wanted to leave some of that great texture, the brush strokes from the marker in each of the petals or leaves. I think it adds a nice little touch to all of that. Back to our YG 9195 and 97 for a lot of the greenery here, and then a little bit of red for the other leaves, and then we will switch to some browns for those other little leaves like I mentioned a second ago. Once everything is colored, I will die cut everything to use on my cards, and then we're going to stencil and embellish our backgrounds, stamp and emboss our greetings, and then finally add some finishing details and embellishments. I almost feel like this red color combination matches my nails. And then E81, 84, and 87 is that last color combination I used. And it's an earth tone, but it almost has a green undertone to it. And I liked it for something just a little bit different. So pretty. And then make sure and go in and add highlights to everything so it matches all of the images we've already added highlights to. So now we are ready to start our background. And what I did was I laid out my stamps with the masking stencils, or the domed arches stencils, pardon me, that I'm using. And I am going to use the 3 largest sizes from this stencil set from Simon Says Stamp, and I am going to lay them out one by one and stencil. So I actually ended up using the Tonic Magnetic Mat for this. It made it really easy to hold things down in place. So to start, I'm going to start with my smallest size and use the Simon Says Stamp Pawsitively Saturated Ink in SEAFOAM. I'm going to ink up this domed arch, and then before I remove this arch, I am going to take a grid stencil and I am going to create a little pattern on this. I almost wanted this to appear to be a window that we're decorating, as I mentioned earlier. And so when I was designing the card, I think that grid stencils kind of give you that really decorative window effect. And so I love using them for this. So I'm going to leave the domed arch in place, and then I'm going to go over the SEAFOAM ink with Surf. So this is like the medium mid-tone in this color trio. We're going to remove both of those stencils, and then we're going to take the mask and we are going to pop the mask in place. And I highly recommend a very strong magnet for this that doesn't move. I actually used the magnet from my Misty. It worked fantastic to hold that mask in place. Then I'm going to take the next largest domed arch stencil, pop that in place, hold it down with the magnets that come with the Tonic Magnetic Mat, and I am going to ink the next layer with Surf ink. So this is the same color I used to create the grid on the first domed arch. Then we are going to go ahead and remove these stencils, and we're going to take the next biggest mask and we're going to kind of just repeat this whole process. We're going to put that mask in place over the center, and then we are going to use our largest domed arch stencil and we're going to ink that with some ocean ink. And again, this Misty magnet is super, super strong, but I found it worked fantastic for holding my masking stencil in place. And this is a nice, bold outline color. I really liked how this looked. Then we're going to take our background, and I like to place it in a splatter box. I decided to add a little splatter, and I am going to put it in a clear plastic box and splatter it with a little white gouache. Not a ton, just a little bit to add a touch of decorative background element to it, I guess. So I'm going to put a little bit of the white gouache in my box. I usually add just a tiny bit of water to it. And then I found that if you don't want to get the splatter on the outer arches, go ahead and use that first domed arch stencil and the splatter will stay right there, kind of in the first window opening. And there is our background, and then we'll let that set and completely dry. Now, I did do that step at the very beginning before I colored my images, so it gave them plenty of time to completely air dry, because we're going to stamp and emboss our greetings next, and I wanted the background to be all the way dry so embossing powder doesn't stick to any of that splatter. On the first card, I'm going to use Find Gratitude in Every Moment, and I'm using my die cut, my stamped and die cut images to dictate where that greeting is going to go. I'm going to stamp the sentiment with clear embossing ink from Simon Says Stamp, and then I'm going to use the Simon Says Stamp Antique Gold embossing powder to emboss the greeting. And I think the antique gold looks so pretty for mini cards, but a fall theme card with these fall florals, it makes it so elegant. The fonts in this stamp set are absolutely gorgeous. Then we are going to take our images and build our floral arrangement. I popped up my images with some foam adhesive squares to give them a little bit of dimension, and then to kind of help frame out the rest of the window, that's where our little individual florals are going to come into play. And I decided to glue a couple of these directly to the card base, and then I will pop up some of it with foam adhesive. So the leaves do have foam adhesive, the yellow leaves, pardon me, have foam adhesive, the red do not, and then the berries are not going to have foam adhesive. I'm going to glue those directly to the background. And that just kind of gives it that more natural look where it kind of comes down around the corner. So for our second card, the arch is actually going to go up at the top. And I decided to go ahead and add some gold gems, pearls, pardon me, to my card to finish it off and to kind of go with the whole gold theme. These are the Pretty Pink Posh gold pearls. And I'm scattering them kind of surrounding and around our floral arrangement. And I like that. I think that's super pretty. I added a little heart underneath the greeting, and then all we have to do is place that on a white top fold card base. So I'm also going to use the big arch for the second card background to determine where I want to stamp my greeting. And then I will stamp that greeting with clear embossing ink and heat emboss with the antique gold embossing powder again. And that's going to be in the bottom right corner. So it really is dependent on where the floral arrangement is going to go, where I stamp that sentiment. And these sentiments are so pretty. Again, I've popped or put foam adhesive back behind my floral arch. And then we just want to build it out a little bit. I'm going to lay them out first and see if I like where they're going. The more detailed images, like the little red leaves, I did just glue directly to the card instead of trying to piece foam adhesive under a smaller image. And then I'm going to place the rest of my leaves into the design. And I like those little brown leaves, are really kind of pretty. I like that. And there we go. Again, I'm going to add some gold pearls and a little brown heart. And that is going to finish up our fall floral cards featuring the Simon Says Stamp and Memory Box STAMPtember 2022 stamp set called Beautiful Moments. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube for your convenience. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you again next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.